The African sun rose slowly over the golden horizon, casting long shadows across the savanna, where silence echoed louder than noise. Ranger Alex stood motionless beside his old jeep, boots dusted from the long trail, holding a metal cup filled with warm coffee, eyes fixed on the majestic creatures that moved like slow waves across the plain. A herd of elephants, calm and mighty, was making its way toward the river, their trunks swaying, their ears flapping gently in rhythm with the breeze. Among them was Tombo, a young elephant whose innocence made him a favorite of every ranger and tourist alike. His eyes sparkled with curiosity, his steps clumsy yet filled with purpose, and his tiny trumpet-like calls echoed with joy every time a bird flew near him. His mother, a towering matriarch known for her strength, never let Tambo wander far, but the beauty of the morning seemed to distract even the most careful guardians. Tambo, fascinated by a butterfly dancing in the sunlight, drifted closer to the river's edge, unaware of the danger that lurked beneath the calm surface. A predator with ancient instincts had waited patiently, hidden, watching the herd for hours. Beneath the shimmering water, a massive crocodile, longer than a pickup truck, lay completely still, blending into the muddy floor. The butterfly fluttered upward, and Tombo, still chasing it playfully, took another step toward the river. The crocodile moved, not fast, not slow, just enough to create a ripple, just enough to signal death was awake. Alex's hand tightened. Around his coffee cup, he had seen that ripple before. He dropped the cup without blinking and ran. His boots hit the ground with heavy thuds as his eyes locked on the baby elephant. Tambo's mother raised her trunk, sensing something wrong, but the crocodile was already lunging. In a blink, chaos unfolded. The river exploded as jaws opened wide, teeth flashing in the morning light. Tambo screamed. His tiny legs tried to run, but the water pulled him in. Alex reached for his rifle, yelling loudly, not to scare the crocodile, but to alert the herd. And something unbelievable happened. A thunderous roar echoed through the jungle, not from a lion, not from a human, but from behind the trees. Crashing through the underbrush came an enormous figure, not part of the herd, not a ranger, not expected. It was a gorilla. But not just any gorilla. This was Bantu, a massive silverback known in local legend as the guardian of the forest. Nobody had seen him in years. No one had believed he still lived. Yet there he was, leaping over logs, charging straight toward the water, his fists pounding the ground, shaking the earth with each step. The crocodile dragged Tambo deeper, and the baby elephant's cries grew fainter. But Bantu did not slow. He dove into the water with a force that sent waves crashing onto the riverbank. The crocodile turned, confused for a moment, then released its grip as Bantu struck it with such power that even the king of the river knew it had met something greater. Tambo floated, stunned but alive. Bantu pulled the baby elephant toward shore, using his massive arms like oars. Alex stood frozen, his mouth open, heart pounding. Tambo's mother rushed forward, trumpeting louder than ever before, wrapping her trunk around her baby. She turned to Bantu, and for a long second, the forest stood still. Eyes locked, elephant and gorilla shared something deeper than words. An ancient understanding, a connection older than time itself. The crocodile disappeared into the river. Humiliated, defeated. The herd surrounded Tambo, checking, comforting, protecting. Bantu stepped back, water dripping from his fur, his chest heaving, and turned toward the trees. Without a sound, he vanished into the jungle once more. Alex knew he had witnessed something the world would never believe. He did not reach for his camera. He did not need proof. What mattered had already been etched into memory. Later that day, word spread across the reserve. Rangers whispered about the silverback, tourists spoke of heroism, and elders in nearby villages nodded quietly, saying they always knew Bantu was real. But no one, not even Alex, expected what would follow. Over the next few days, Tambo changed. Not physically, but in behavior. He walked with new confidence, often stopping to stare into the forest as if waiting. Other animals, too, began appearing more frequently near the river, as though drawn to something. One morning, Alex returned to the river and found a path through. The trees, one that had never been there before. He followed it and discovered a small clearing, fresh with footprints elephant, gorilla, and something else. It was then he realized nature had its own language, one that spoke without words, and he had just been taught to listen. That year, the reserve saw fewer attacks. Animals that had once been enemies now coexisted more peacefully. Researchers scratched their heads. Locals just smiled. They knew. Bantu was watching. His presence, though unseen, was felt in every leaf, every branch, every gust of wind that whispered through the trees. Tambo grew quickly, stronger with each day. He led younger calves to safe watering holes, warned them when danger approached, and often stood silently near the forest's edge at sunset. As the sky turned orange and the sun dipped low, Alex would sometimes hear a faint rustle in the trees and smile, knowing Bantu was near. Though the world outside might never understand, those who had seen it, those who had felt it, knew that something extraordinary had taken place. In a world filled with noise, nature had told a story in silence, and it had changed everything. Years later, when tourists asked about the legend, Alex would tell the tale, not as a myth, but as a moment of truth. And somewhere, deep in the heart of the forest, a silverback listened, unseen but never forgotten, the silent protector of a baby elephant who once danced with butterflies and was saved by a guardian. The jungle had never stopped believing in. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Stand for justice. Stand for dignity. And always, always remember, heroes come in all colors. Watch, share, and let this be the moment we choose respect over hate. Your voice matters. Use it